Conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, excellent. Hello and welcome. This is the call to order for the communications meeting. The date is January 8th, 2026, first meeting of the year. It's 6:32 p.m. We'll put that in the meeting minutes. Like I said, this is the call to order. We have Lou online, so we'll have to do a roll call vote. So Lou, we'll start with you.
What's he voting on?
Present? He's just present.
Oh.
Yes. Ed
present.
Allegra present.
Chris Martin present. Okay, excellent. We have our call to order complete. On to the approval of minutes. We got the minutes from our 12/11 meeting earlier today. Was that enough time for everybody to review?
I reviewed it.
Yes.
I did as well. Okay. Any updates other than the ones that Ed and Kate sent along?
I didn't get any from Kate.
I thought you said Kate reviewed them in your email. Maybe not.
No, just Ed. But
Just Ed.
I don't know if Kate had any others, but.
Okay. If we're good to go then can I get a motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from December 11th. Yep.
In a second.
Christine. Sorry, bad time.
I'm sorry.
Can you end the screen share?
Yeah, of course I can.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. I second, so we're gonna do roll call again. Lou, Lorraine, can we get you?
Aye.
Edco?
Aye.
Aye.
Allegra, yep, Chris, Martin, aye as well, so we're all good to go on that. Public comment? I don't think we have anybody from the public here. Time to speak is 1, 2, 3. I will say we got an excellent article in the newspaper, the Sentinel, about the Carriage Chronicles.
Yep.
Very excellent piece. They interviewed Allegra on that. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Did they write that? Yeah, they wrote that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We didn't have to plant it.
No, they reached out. Yeah, I did interview.
Good.
All right, moving on. Are there any topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair? Anybody have anything come up in the last 48 hours? Excellent, moving on. Education training reports from committee members.
I attended a webinar yesterday from the Center on Rural Innovation, which is located up in Vermont, and the webinar was Advancing Digital Skills in Rural America, Lessons from the Field. And I was really kind of excited about this organization. I found out that Belchertown is not rural, so we don't qualify to work with them, which I found ironic. And, but I am talking to some of them anyways to pick their brains and learn what we can from them, because we may not be technically rural, but I think we are, and we're surrounded by rural communities. So let's see what comes out of it.
All right. I actually signed up for that one as well, but for some reason, every time I sign up for one of these meetings, it's like a magnet in my company to like schedule something at the exact same time. So I'm gonna watch the recording later. Is it worth it?
It's worth it.
All right, excellent.
And especially considering how Pathfinder's coming to town, that was one of the things, is matching the needs of technology companies with the training from the community. And there's often a mismatch between the two. In other words, the education is not training the workforce for what the companies need. So it's kind of interesting from that point of view.
Interesting. Anybody else?
I attended a training today on accessibility standards for videos.
Oh, very cool.
And that was put on by the Access Department at the Commonwealth. It was super informative. I'll be happy to share dates of that training if more people want to go, or if you just want a copy of today's training sent to you when I get a copy of that, I can send that along as well too.
Yes, please. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see it as well.
I will do
Was there
that.
anything specific? Was there anything specifically that might affect BCTV?
Oh, for sure, especially like stuff that is being posted on social and YouTube and closed captioning, and they really got into like how to properly do descriptions for videos. It was really worthwhile. It was one of the better ones that I've attended that Access has put on.
It's great.
Love that.
Yeah, very cool. And thank you for sharing it with the BCTV and the rest of us.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone else? No? All right, excellent. I have a few that I've signed up for, but they're all in like February, so I won't bring them up yet. All right, the community partners policy. We've had a few responses so far. Kate, have you've been sending those to us when they come in, right?
Yeah, it's just the 2 so far that have come in. But I'm going to double check while we're on the phone, just in case, you know, sometimes things get weird with emails and we don't necessarily get, you know, they don't necessarily come over like they should. So if you wanted to start with reviewing those while I double check to see if we have any others.
Yeah, actually, I've forgotten what they are at this point. I should have prepared with that. But we can. I'm gonna see if we can sign in. Look at that. Or maybe we move on to the next thing and then we can, while we sign in and look these up.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Because the website's not behaving well for me.
Okay, and Allegra, you said you have them?
I have them in my email.
Oh, great.
Oh, perfect.
So I could read what the response was.
Sure.
Okay, so the first respondent wrote, so this is to the question, do you have an opinion on what types of events should or should not be included in the community events calendar? And that's like the main question. So this person wrote, community sports, including youth and adult, art exhibits, concerts, school and professional, and cultural events that are open to the public should be included. It might be nice to have a filter feature for free versus paid events. Business special offers and sales should not be on the calendar. And then I can read the second one if you like.
Sure.
This other person wrote down, oh, and just the note on the first person has a background or their position in the community is as a resident, a business owner, and they have a nonprofit that benefits Belchertown residents. So that was their view. And then another person who's a resident wrote, first, I did not even know there was a community calendar. I wish the Sentinel would draw on it to tell us what is happening and when in advance of the event. I always seem to find out about events after they occur. So I think the first issue to address is publicizing the town calendar of events. Second, any event held on the town common or in town spaces should definitely be included, assuming they are open to the public. Third, rec department sign-up periods would be helpful to advertise, but not every class or function they offer. But if there are enrollment deadlines, those would be helpful to include. And that was it.
Hey, real quick, on GoToMeeting, we're listed as the taxation committee. Can you just edit our name on GoToMeeting?
Yes, I can.
So there are just those 2 comments that have been in the back end, and I will certainly put out a post later this week or over the weekend looking for more of those comments again and see if the Sentinel can run it one more time to call for comments.
What's the deadline on that?
I believe it was January 31st.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't want to be dragging on for too long. But yeah, so far just the 4. I think I mostly agree with them, but again, we don't have to. I mean, we get to decide. This is just to inform us how people feel about it. It'd be great to get more opinions. I'd love to see what some of the other committees they're thinking, like the Creative Economy Committee. Lisa Stahl, I know, has some opinions on it. Even Jen Turner had some opinions, but.
I just was wondering if we ever had like an email, I don't think we do, because I looked into this, but like a list of emails of committees, because not all committees have a committee email. So if we could just email the committees.
I was just gonna ask Kate, can you get this sent to just the committees?
I can forward that over to. I can forward it over to the committee chairs and ask them to disperse it to their committees.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The lack of like email addresses for committees in general is something that's been weighing heavy on me. Like there's no easy way to email a committee. And it's proving problematic on our website because it says contact us and then you get to a committee and there's no actual way to contact them except for calling the select board's office. But that's a separate conversation, so I'll just stop right there. But yes, I will go ahead and email the chairs and ask them for some input.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, yeah, and I just checked on mine, there are no other responses to that. So, yep, we're still just on hold until everything comes in. Yeah. All right, I think we can move on from that one. On to the annual report. So this is something that I'm gonna be working on. I do this every year. Just put together like what our committee's been up to. I did earlier, I haven't completely started, but I usually just take the minutes from the entire year, drop them through an analysis tool to just get like a nice draft and then just wrap it up from there. I usually submit and then they ask me to make it shorter. So, that's great for us because we have so much to do, a little extra work for me. So, I never, it's good to get this out there, but I never stress about it too much. That said, I'd love to get some numbers actually from a few of you. Kate, at some point, if you could send me over the numbers for our social media, how many, like any of the big numbers, like how many people we have that are following, our total viewership, I think hit 1 million. So any of those like data points that are really big.
Sure.
Later, I can actually look up the newsletter myself and get those. So I don't need you. And I was thinking, Esther, if I could get some of the YouTube channel stuff, I think that'd be great as well. I don't think we like totally are involved with the YouTube stuff, but we're, communications we're helping promote. So.
Well, that's what I was just gonna bring up too. I mean, like Kate, do you have to do your own annual report? Because we don't want to steal her thunder.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
we don't want to steal Esther's thunder either. I know it's related.
That's true. And maybe we'll cut it. We can cut out the YouTube one, but I feel like social media we still helped out with a lot.
Oh, we did. Oh, unquestionably. But I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to steal Kate's thunder and be duplicative of what she's already going to print.
Sure.
Steve hasn't told me whether or not I need to provide one this year, so let me confer with him tomorrow, which is funny because I'm the one putting the report together, right? And I haven't thought to ask that question. So let me confer with him tomorrow if I am putting in a report or if I should just include my information with the communications committee.
To tell you the truth, I think it would be good for you to do your own report to show the value of your position and all your activity, and maybe also what you weren't able to do. You had many requests for this and this and this, but time constraints and everything like that. I think it would just reinforce the need to expand the hours you're doing.
No, I would absolutely want to put in a report. It's, I don't want to do the effort and then have someone tell me to take it out.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think if other departments are doing it, then sure. But.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be good for you to compile that information, whether it goes in as a report from Kate or as part of our report. I think it should be in there, but like I said, I think it would just help reinforce, it would strengthen your position in my mind. And sorry we can't share, but Esther, Allegra just gave us a dark chart.
Sorry, guys.
Can you hear me okay?
I can now, yes.
Speaking into the mic? Okay. Yeah, BCTVs, I got stats. I've been running a bunch of
Nice.
AI analysis with them too that I'm excited about. But yeah, I think that's probably obviously enough clear that that'll just be in the BCTV section because it's BCTV stats.
All right. Okay, yeah, and otherwise the website and the Chronicle I can get the stats on. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I think that's pretty much it. I think we could talk about.
I think it would be worth including in there, like the number of different articles that folks on the committee wrote for the website and stuff like that, because that will help show the need for more assistance in this area.
Do we have that number?
We can probably just pull up the website and easily get it, or Ed can tell you how many things he wrote this year. I think Mark wrote 1 or 2 as well.
Okay, yeah, I can check the website for that.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't say who wrote them.
Oh, it
Well,
doesn't.
on the back end it would. Yeah,
On the back end it would, okay.
Yeah.
As long as you submitted them.
Right, which I do.
Does Mark submit hers or does Kate?
It must be Kate because I didn't do it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I put Mark's in.
Has anybody else, just Mark and Ed? I don't think I submitted any. Okay. Well, so if it's gonna say Kate's name and not Mark's, then I'm gonna need to know how many Ed did. And if you think it's 2, then that's fine, but. Mark, yes, sorry. But I can search Ed's unless you gave any to Kate to post, in which case, okay.
I mean, I can take it. Save it.
Okay, appreciate it, yeah. No, but that's a good call. Written articles is great. Any other stats that we can think of?
Articles replaced in the Sentinel.
Well, it's gonna take some research, but yeah.
I mean, I can look at ones I did. We can chronicle how many times Ed and Boris appeared in the Sentinel. Kate, he kept running the same damn picture.
Do they keep running the same picture? That's funny.
Yes,
I can
yes,
I can work on getting them a new picture to run.
Deb looked at it and said, "This is turning into the Ed Camo paper here, isn't it?"
Let's get it updated. Okay, cool. So that stuff, I'll get that done probably tomorrow, and I'll send it around a draft to everybody. It's due on the 15th, so about a week away. But it shouldn't be too hard to put together and just get this working. Kate, are you guys planning on putting that online this year, or is it just being published?
No, it'll be online this year. It was online last year too. And
Okay.
It is being printed in-house this year. And there'll be obviously limited copies available for people to pick up, and we can print more off as we need to. But yeah.
All right, very cool. All right, any other questions, comments, concerns? No? All right, moving on from the annual report. Social media, discussing town issues, including comments and ADA compliance. Kate, do you want to take this one away?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you putting this on the agenda too.
Absolutely.
So the biggest issue surrounding social media right now is whether or not to leave comments on the town social media page, and particularly the Facebook page. So a little bit of background information here. A little while ago, early December, I attended a training on First Amendment compliance with social media, and everything in that training had come back and was like, you don't turn off commenting, you leave it on. And there was a lot learned in there regarding how to tell if something's obscene, if it's not obscene, what posts can actually be deleted, what you have to leave up and stuff like that. And in the end, it turned out that like you really can only delete true spam, and you have proof of it being spam. You can delete something if it's like an actual threat of violence.
Okay.
And a couple other like really like tight things in there. So most things have to stay open. And then, you know, obviously anytime you're not sure about something, you know, you should go to your own counsel and be like, hey, this happened. Should I leave the post up or take it down, right? You know, err on the side of caution, double check with counsel. So there was a post on our page with someone saying, this person in town, and here's his date of birth, should apply for this job. Like poking fun at him because whatever. So that was like, it felt like the gray area to me. Like if he had put up the guy's social security number or his address or something like that, that really defined who he was, then I definitely would have taken it down right away. You know, screenshotted, blocked, and all the necessary steps. So I sent it over to Steve and was like, hey, can you send this to council and see if we should leave it up or take it down, right? So council came back and they're like, no, leave it up, it's fine. But hey, we thought that your Facebook page was set up so that way it's a one-way communication and people cannot comment.
Right.
Oh,
And I was
question.
like,
When
no,
we
that's
say,
not how our page is set up. Our page is open, people can comment, and here's my reasoning to that. And, you know, council came back with a big, long explanation, which Steve forwarded to myself, and he copied Chris and Ed on it. And I wanted to have a chance to have a conversation with the committee to see, you know, if the committee is like, turn off commenting, like I'll drop it. And I do have like concern with that because I know that like if you violate someone's First Amendment rights, or if you violate, like you do stuff that's not ADA compliant, like you as a social media manager can be held personally responsible. And obviously I would want everything in writing and triplicate should something happen. So my first instinct is to leave it open, but if the committee is like, no, I think it's a terrible idea and it should be a one-way like bulletin board communication, then so be it. But I'm just prefacing this with, in the training that I went to, they had said that you can't turn off commenting because people can still like and love and hate using, you know, the reaction buttons on social media, and those cannot be turned off. And therefore, if you turn off commenting, you're limiting the type of free speech which can happen on your page. And there are some case laws that like allude to this, but no one specifically goes in and says that. So there's a lot of interpretation up for this. And I think that's where we're coming down on this, is town council is interpreting the law one way, whereas the training that we went to interpreted it another way. And I asked on, government social media channels, like, which is nationwide, like, what are people doing? And the vast majority have them open. There are a few that do have them turned off, and they say they haven't had any problems, but these are like massive counties in the South, not necessarily, small Northeast towns where, the view of social media may be different. So that's why I'm coming to the committee today, is to get your feelings on the topic and to kind of figure out like what next steps are going to be.
I'm just wondering which authorities, like, is it the Massachusetts state level that's most likely if we break one of these rules? Obviously, First Amendment is federal, but.
Yeah, there's no state rulings on this. It's all federal ruling.
It's all okay.
I'm on your side, Kate. I think the comments should be left open.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Agreed.
Positive or negative, I think it's better to have, any discussions and like, it allows a space for those discussions. It allows people to be informed, stay talking about it, we want to know if people are upset about things. Obviously, if there's anything that is, spam or malicious or whatever, then or dangerous, we want to take down underneath that guideline, the guidance that Kate, was taught about. But I think limiting comments is not great.
Like, I'm concerned about limiting them for other reasons too. Like, if we limit them, all of a sudden we can't like post links to, like, Esther went live on the town's Facebook page with a meeting, and in the comments she posted a link to the agenda. If we turn off commenting, she would never be able to do that. Like, we would never be able to go in and comment on our own posts because commenting has to be off all the time. And that's just simply not even like a First Amendment issue, but a functionality issue.
Right.
This might go without saying too, but in town, it's just not a good look to not have comments when many other places would.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
The only thing that comes to mind is the bandwidth to monitor and respond to them,
We don't have to respond.
or at least to monitor them,
Yes.
So we have very few comments on our page. Like, typically the only time people are commenting on things is really during our ugly sweater contest. Other than that, most people are like looking at things, and maybe like we get like 5 comments a week. Like, it's definitely not a heavy lift. Should we ever be in a position where, we have 5,000 followers and we're getting 30 comments a day or something, then that might be a different conversation. But really, we're not looking to engage the public in the comments unless they're sharing misinformation or they ask a simple question and we can point them to like a link on the website to help them out.
Okay.
I don't think we've heard from Allegra or Mark.
Mark is not here today.
Okay, my apologies.
It's all right.
Yeah, I think certainly given like the load that you just described, Kate, it seems okay, certainly to manage, and it has all the added benefits of being able to hear from the community through those channels. So maybe something to be revisited if we end up having a lot of stuff that needs to go to council. Hopefully we never do, but.
So I think the other thing to consider too is that when we talk about the town's social media, we're not simply talking about the town's primary page. I mean, for our concerns, it very much is, but like, this also includes, like, the town clerk has a page, the rec department, I believe, has a page. All of our various committees, there's some of them that have pages, Family Center and other such. They would all be under that same blanket of needing to monitor and handle these things, which again goes towards that idea of having somebody on each committee who is responsible for that kind of stuff. But I just want to make sure that we're understanding that it's outside of the realm of just the town of Belchertown Facebook page. It's everything too.
Well, let's say rec department wanted to shut off comments on theirs. Can they do that, or does it have to be uniform across the town?
Well,
And I think that's a really good question. And if we had decided that we wanted to let each committee or department decide for themselves how to handle that, I think writing that into the new social media policy, which I've slowly been starting to tick at, we could certainly put a line about that in there. But also at the same time outlining the fact that we know that, like, this is not necessarily settled case, if you will, and that it may be subject to change.
Because I think this gets to that bandwidth question I just asked. Each committee may not have the capability of monitoring or department monitoring comments and all that sort of stuff,
All right. But I think that comes with the risk of starting your own Facebook page, right? If you don't have the bandwidth to monitor it, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
No, because in my mind, it's still a good way of getting information out. So I don't know if that would be a good enough reason to not.
But they could also, instead of deciding to start their own Facebook page, they could ask the town to share the information. Like that certainly happens in a lot of other municipalities where like you don't have a Facebook page for every single department and committee. Everything comes from one central account.
And I may be looking for a problem where none lies, you know?
Well, I mean, it's worth poking and prodding, you know, like it's, you know, we gotta test the fences.
Yeah.
So I think we're all in agreement here that we should be leaving them open.
So if you're in agreement, would you be willing, like if I put together a statement for everyone to review like next week, that we could discuss it at our next meeting? Like give everyone a chance to look things over and be able to form opinions on things?
Yep, and are you looking for a vote on this in the end?
Yeah, I
Probably.
think I would be looking for a vote on this in the end. Like I've held off replying to Steve, as you've noticed, because you haven't seen a reply come through, because I did want to have this conversation. And if it is something that you're willing to back me on, then yeah, I would want to have a vote and be able to, like, we talked about it and they voted on, not just
Yeah.
we talked about it and they said yes. It's different if we actually make a vote, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and I don't want to do any votes or anything tonight because we haven't really been informed and nobody's been able to like step back and review any of that stuff.
Agreed.
Is any of that training you had, the social media stuff, is any of that available to like share with the rest of us, that we could like watch the videos of the trainings or anything, or is it all like you had to be there?
No, you had to be there, and it was a paid training as well.
Oh, okay.
And
All
I think that's why they haven't sent out a copy of the training, because it's $150 a seat. And if they send out a copy, then why do people have to like get other people in the department to
Absolutely.
register?
Yep. Okay. Well, okay. Let's do that's next steps. We'll like get a statement about it. Everybody go out, do a little bit of research, form an opinion, come back with any questions next week, and perhaps we'll hold either a vote next week or the one, or not next week, next meeting, or the one after that.
Thank you. I appreciate you all very much for that.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Moving on, item number 9, AI and Belchertown Government.
I sent an email to UMass. Okay, right now the current plan is end of February, we're gonna have a workshop here for the town employees about AI. I kind of poked UMass just to make sure things are moving. They're looking at putting together a meeting in the next few weeks amongst their staff to continue working on that, because obviously they shut down during holidays. And I'm gonna encourage that we be invited to be a part of that meeting, you know, so we can all just stay in the, I just don't want to lose momentum. So I'm trying to keep that going. I mentioned Corey, the Center on Rural Innovation. They held a conference in November in North Adams on this very topic, which I wish I really had known about to attend. So that's why I'm kind of picking their brains on what resources, and even though officially we're not rural, how they might be able to help us. So I have a call scheduled with them next week to talk about that a little bit more. The AI Mass Hub, that project that the governor has kicked off, it's continuing to be radio silent, but quite honestly, I keep poking that one, trying to get a response from them. Because I think it would be really good for us to be involved with that, or for them to assist us. So I'm continuing to try to chase that one down and see if we can do something for them, or they can do, more importantly, they can do something for us. So,
Okay.
that's all I got on the AI front.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns on that? Moving on. Communication plan. Admittedly, I have not touched that.
And I was supposed to do something on that too, and I didn't either.
Yeah.
But I let you say it first.
What's that?
I let you say it first.
Yeah. I think everyone, did we all review the tactical stuff? I think I did what we did last time. So we just need to regroup on that one. And I need to put together some more of those tactical plans based on stuff that was discussed in the December 11th meeting. So that one is on me for now.
And I was gonna look at it to see, it had a lot of to be done stuff that has been done. And that's what I was supposed to do, was go through and identify the things that have been done.
Right.
So,
I'll just jump in and say that it really is my plan to send out the minutes sooner because I realize how useful it would be to have the action items to review. So I'm gonna start doing that in 2026. And yeah, one of the action items for this had been for all of us to send feedback to Chris about that 29-page document.
That's what I thought.
Which none of us
I'm
probably
supposed to get-
did,
no.
because when you give something to everybody to do, nobody's gonna do it. So I can put that in the action item for this
Well,
meeting.
you know, it was the
Can I-
holidays. I'm gonna use my excuse for everybody else. Like, there's things going on. My kids were absolutely wild, and every night I got nothing done. But I did read your meeting notes, and it was like, oh, everyone was supposed to send me something. I thought I was supposed to do something. Okay, but
I'll go in these notes.
yeah, and the tactical stuff, I did have some things that I wanted to add to it. So, Mark, I will say, Mark said, no, he didn't send me the new tactical plans. He told me he made updates to them, and I said, that's great. Can you send them to me? And then I got nothing back from him. So, because I asked last time if I could get just like the original documents he had instead of the PDF. So, so it's on all of us. That's all right. We'll pick it up 2026. We'll get it done.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, moving on to 11. Enhanced town warrant.
in the Youngstown warrant, I have sent a draft on the template to Steve and Melissa on, I mean, it's pretty simple, you know, warrant article, explanatory text, how the committees voted would be in there. The bigger part of it though is I came up with a draft, and I want to emphasize the draft timeline for when things have to happen, working backwards. If ideally we want to get this out to the public 2 weeks in advance of town meeting, then when do all the other things have to happen? And so I asked for Melissa and Steve's comment on that. Haven't heard back yet. But I'll
That's how it is.
just let know. But again, it's all very positive reaction to it, so it's just making it happen.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone's gung ho about it. Excited to make it happen. It is gonna happen. Just we have to see what it
Right.
evolves into.
Yep.
So, I think that's a huge win for us actually. If this fits together nicely and happens, it's gonna be a really big win for us.
I think so. Now,
And the
you
town.
okay, actually, and kind of going to this and AI, because you had wanted to put something about AI in the town newsletter. And I said, let's hold off until we're, a little further down the road.
Yeah,
I mean, for February, I think that might be a good, two good topics about what we're doing AI wise and what we're doing with the enhanced town meeting. So would you like me to write you something or?
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great.
that's where I was gonna bring that up in the newsletter, and I mentioned we'll bring that up again in the newsletter, because that was the topic that I wanted to bring up, that we said to maybe pause on it, and I did. Anything else about the warrant? Okay, a lot of this stuff just in holding patterns, which is absolutely fine. We're still getting stuff done. December is a tough period to work with. Gateway signage, I don't think anybody has any updates to this because Mark is running it. I know Kate mentioned something last time about getting like grants and stuff, but I don't know if Mark followed up on that. Or if Kate has anything else to share with that, but I think we
Yeah,
just
Mark sent me some DOT guidelines, or not guidelines, but some stuff for the DOT. I'm having a hard time like getting the vendors to like respond. I don't know if like everyone's having a hard time waking up from the holidays or what, but yeah, just kind of in the waiting game, unfortunately.
Okay. All right, well, we'll move on from that one. We'll see if we get an update by the next time. And on to the town newsletter. December, January issue review.
Yes. Well, January issue review, right? 'Cause
Yeah, I
we're
think we
in
already did December.
Yeah. So the January issue went out very nicely on the 7th, after the holidays, I guess yesterday was the 7th.
Yeah.
And we said we would bring stats to every meeting, so I do have it pulled up. One, I just wanted to note, we actually got a ton of new subscribers over the holiday period. I don't know if Kate, maybe that was you're doing with social media posts about the newsletter or anything like that, but we got, a few dozen. And then I did see today some more people are signing up because they're noticing the article in the Sentinel. So
Or it's just like families gathering and talking, like bringing up, oh, do you get the newsletter? Yeah. Who knows?
So right now, we have about 550, 557. A couple of them are, like, I know I have 2 email addresses subscribed, but about 550 subscribers. And so 61 new subscribers in the last 30 days,
Excellent.
which is a pretty big
Great.
increase.
Yeah, that's huge.
For right now. And then, the stats on the January newsletter look good, like they normally do. It's still early, so some people are still kind of seeing the email because it just went out yesterday. But so far, 74% of people have opened the email. A number of people are clicking on it. There's a lot of people clicking on the link from the assessor's office, Kate, with what the rate estimate would be depending on the value of your home with the new tax rate. So that was very useful information.
I saw that. I think
Right.
that's great.
Yeah, also a lot of people interested in all the things that the DPW shared about recycling holiday materials and stuff like that. And a number of, these are all kind of smaller numbers because I think, well, one thing to note is that you don't necessarily, the data that we get in Constant Contact doesn't reflect the number of things people actually follow, because sometimes people follow them in ways that Constant Contact can't track. But I noticed that, a number of people also clicked on the comment, the one of your announcements, Kate, about commenting on the calendar. So anyway, a normal amount of engagement that we normally get with the newsletter this month, which is high.
Some of these stats, being the communications committee, would it be better to communicate them graphically? Can they be turned into a graph?
They are actually, Constant Contact creates a visual.
All the better
Yeah,
for the
so we
annual
can
report.
pull that. Yeah.
Yeah, so get a nice visual.
Yeah.
It sounds, Kate, like we might have a couple things coming in from the EDIC for next month. I know you are going to prepare something, and also something might come from the commission itself to talk about their updates on the redevelopment project.
Correct. Yep.
So that's good
But
too.
that's assuming that they want to do that. I'm surprised I haven't heard back from Cheryl, who's the communications person on the EDIC, about the feature piece. But it is the holidays, and the holidays are over, and we're all still waking up. So there's that.
Yeah.
EDIC has somebody who's in charge of communications?
Yes, they do.
Wow, that's good.
It's relatively new. I want to say within like the last 4 or 5 months, but yeah.
Because I remember it came up at one of the meetings, they were talking about that specifically. They were getting kind of beaten up because they weren't getting the word out.
Yeah.
So that's great. No, that's great.
They have a new chair, right?
They do.
Yeah. Sounds like things are moving along now. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
EDIC is making a lot of good progress across the town, so we just want to capitalize on that and make sure we highlight what EDIC is actually doing and the momentum we're moving on it. So I'm glad
100%.
we're going to get them in there.
Yep.
Well, if anyone wants to pass along the message, or if they're watching this, we're here to help. Whatever the EDIC needs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Communication wise.
I just have a question about the newsletter, though, if we can circle back for a second.
We're still in the newsletter, technically.
Perfect. Awesome. Are we doing a resend to non-openers after X number of days or anything like that? Like, I believe Constant Contact has a feature where you can program it to resend to non-openers, like a hey, reminder, you didn't open your newsletter. Are we doing that?
No, but I'll definitely look into it, and we can set that up. I think that's a good idea. I didn't realize that was a thing you could automate. So if we can automate it, it's definitely worth doing.
You used to be.
Yeah, you set it up when you're getting ready to do your send. There's like a button you can hit in that back end where you can say resend to non-openers at this point.
Great, okay. Yeah, I've seen that and not clicked it because I thought, no, nobody wants to have it resent to them. But you're right, if you can choose, you're saying you're given a timeline where you can do the resend. Is that right?
Yep,
Like you
yep, they'll
choose.
show you the days to pick from, and I think I don't know if we have the right level, like, you know, how there's premium and stuff, like,
Yeah.
at some point they'll tell you, like, the best day to resend it. I don't know if it'll tell us on our level or not.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
I think that's it for the newsletter, unless you have anything else, Chris.
I was gonna say I have some feedback from my wife because she was complaining about a few things, but
Oh, okay.
I think that'll be after the meeting.
Very good. Yeah, right.
Just the order in which we display things and what,
Okay.
from her opinion, I said it was like, this is your opinion, not like the whole town's and everybody else is happy, but like, you know, like why isn't like the rec department up higher?
Yep.
It's, you know.
Well, it's a good question. Yeah, so we should talk about that and we can discuss it more, but yeah, those are decisions to make.
Yeah. But anyway, we could move on from that, and I think, you know, we're doing a great time here, so I think we should at least keep moving. All right, anything else about the town newsletter? Okay, Belchertown.org. Kate, I'm gonna throw it back at you. We have the current ADA design status as well as any additional discussions.
Yeah. So the website is obviously a work in progress. Once we get past this cycle leading up to the annual town meeting and things have, you know, a chance to breathe again, I do want to start getting into looking at how we want to format the site, because we do have to go back through and update every single page in there to ensure that every page is formatted the same within our committees and departments and all that other stuff. So I'm hoping that, you know, come late summer, we as a committee will be able to start looking at like mock-ups of layouts that I've made. And these would all be things that we can adjust the layouts internally and not have to go back to Civic Plus for to have them price and quote and whatnot for that. And then, you know, 26 is gonna, you know, it's gonna sneak up on us, and we're gonna just be, you know, towards the end of the year, it's gonna be all hands on deck and every spare moment and training as many people as we can in regards to updating content on the website and moving things to archives that have to be archived so we don't have to worry about making them compliant and all that other stuff. So, you know, it seems like April of 27 is a long way away before we have to have the website compliant, but it really isn't in the end.
Yeah.
Then also regarding the website, so back when we were looking at adopting the branding into the website, we were looking at possibly making more changes on the homepage, in particular regarding the calendar. And the calendar is like a big topic of conversation these days. So Civic Plus gives you like the one free redesign so many years out of when you launch your website. For some reason, our anniversary date isn't until November of 27, which seems preposterously far away to me. I did get them to provide a rough number for updating our calendar module to some of the other ones that we've been looking at that some of our sister communities around us were using that were just more user-friendly and provided more information. And I have to get those numbers over to Steve and see if there's any room to try to slide them into the budget for FY27. Otherwise, we're really just going to be throwing Band-Aids on our calendar until we can get the redesign done.
Gotcha.
And that number was around $3,000, in case anyone's wondering.
No.
Kate, clarification question, November 2027, what was that? Was that a date when they do something for free for us or something?
Yeah, so November 2027 is when we can like get a facelift for our website for free.
Gotcha.
And it's like a one and done kind of that thing. Like, oh, you've been with us a long time here, we're going to offer this to you, and that's it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that being negotiated, or not really negotiated. They told us they would do that when we were signing up for it. That it was like, you know, you've been around for 2 years, you figured things out, but maybe there's some little adjustments you want to make at that point. And they'd be willing to do that for us, so.
I was just thinking of that today. It's been 2 years since we really started that whole project, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
It's just 2 years ago this month.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's going back. Okay, the other question I had was around the design status. I know last time there were a handful of things that, that didn't sit right and they didn't match the mock-ups that we had from the latest update. Have they resolved those? And maybe I haven't really checked.
Some of the stuff they've been able to resolve, and some of the stuff they haven't, and some of the stuff they're quote unquote working on, if you will. So like the issue with when you look at the website on social and things not centering appropriately.
Yeah.
They say there's nothing they can do about that. Which is pretty annoying. And like we've had some back and forth about the logo and the footer and how fuzzy it looks and how like the edges aren't clean on it. So like there's some things that are like in flux. They're definitely living up to their reputation of things not being easy once you're like involved.
Right.
But we're getting through. It'll get there. It's just slow going.
Okay.
Can I ask a general question about updating the website that I think multiple of you might know, but I'm assuming most of these things, like we don't have control to do them ourselves. Is it possible that some of these things we can do ourselves, or they're back end that we can't access?
There's a number of things in their back end that we can't access.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but we're also lucky to like have Chris, who can like sometimes tweak like the HTML code for us or put things in the footer to make things work. But like there's a lot of things like we couldn't even change the colors on our own.
Right. Like we're just patching things. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the so like the navigation, like we can add new pages to the navigation. We can't change the look and feel of the navigation.
Gotcha.
Right. We can't change the colors, fonts, things like that. The header, they control that. The footer, again, we can control the content that's sort of in it, but not like the designs around it. The front page is very much like they control the designs, and we just choose which widgets to put inside. And then those widgets, we work within the constraints of how those operate. There are some things that we could do that add, like adding in other widgets. We did like the Carriage Chronicle banner. Like I can add a quick banner and stuff like that. And so we can control some of the content in between those widgets, but like there's some gray area, and then there's like a clear, like this we can't touch, right? And it's kind of annoying. There is kind of hacky ways that you can get around it sometimes.
Yeah.
Which I think they even say is like ill-advised because it could break things, but we had a contract developer working on one of the pages for the Agriculture Commission, and they completely locked us out of a page because they put in like JavaScript that ended up conflicting with the pages that we can't see the code that's on there. So and we had to like contact them and have them like wipe the page and everything like that. So
Gotcha.
It's a little touchy. Like every time you do something, you're kind of putting us at risk as well. So it's like minimal stuff that we can do.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Belchertown.org.
I'm all set,
right.
thank you. Unless anyone has questions.
Going once, twice. On to BCTV manager update.
Yay, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave the camera off because it's all cropped and weird on my forehead. So, update, we just the other week put out 2 job postings, one for production assistant and the other for our web manager. And we've got, especially for web managers, some pretty good candidates. Um, we brought the first one in. We had our first interview. That went well. But we're just going to continue to do that in the next couple weeks. In retrospect, it was crazy to put 2 out at the same time because the 2 in, and we're about to do a meet and greet to bring on another new intern. But that's exciting as a thing in itself. And then this week was the first week we wanted to try live streaming the select board from the town's webpage. When it came down to the start of the meeting, I was gonna stream to both.
We're losing you, Esther.
Yeah,
Can't
sounds like, it sounds like you're across the room.
How about now?
Hello?
Hello.
Can't hear you, Esther.
I'll call in. How about Kate takes over?
Okay.
Okay. Give it 2 seconds.
I mean, like, you could hear Kate's update, and then I'll have the phone.
Okay, no problem. We'll double back. Kate, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of stuff throughout the course of the meeting, which generally seems to be the case, and that's a good thing. Although I do know that I wasn't at the December meeting, so I should have tons to update about, but it was the holidays. You know, things are moving along, definitely in full swing with getting ready for the next fiscal year, you know, preparing the documentation packets to present out to the select board, actually everybody at their next tri-board meeting at the end of January, going through the process with that. I've learned a lot since I did it last year, and I feel like it's going a lot better. It's also providing a good basis for creating the annual report, which is like my whole to-do this year, like solely on me as opposed to like a joint effort at the end or in the beginning. So I've been able to pull on some stuff that I've been working on with that, you know, dusting off the InDesign skills because I haven't used them in 6 months and the program's constantly changing, right? We have a photo contest open for the report cover. We've gotten like 12 or 15 entries so far from it. A couple people have submitted 2, but mostly one-off, which is huge because like last year, I think there was only like 3 entries. So we're actually going to have it more of a contest this year, and we're going to present, you know, the ones that we think at Finnerty House are the best choices to the select board, and the select board is going to be able to vote on which one goes on the cover, like an actual contest. And then the other pictures we're going to start using throughout. I've started using some of the pictures as well on social media, you know, for like banners and stuff like that, plugging them into different content pieces. Working on making, you know, the website more accessible. The Taxation Aid Committee is kind of a newer committee, and I built a super robust form for people to apply for taxation aid. So, you know, obviously people need to fill out an application, right? And normally, you know, at the turn of the 2000s, you'd get a paper application, you'd fill it out, and then at some point, you know, things change, and you'd maybe get like a fillable PDF. And you can still do fillable PDFs, but going into the ADA compliant world, the online forms is really where it's at. So I had met with Angela Battle from the Taxation Committee, and we had decided like, we're going to take this form, and it's going to be like, because it's a really robust form and tons of information that they're looking for, and we're going to do this up as an actual form on the website. So that's done. And they're going through the testing process on that now between that committee and the Treasurer Collector's Office, testing it, looking for the bugs, trying to figure things out in there. Chief Ingram and I did have a meeting with Civic Plus earlier this week in regarding their incident control module, which would work with the Connexus, our alert sends piece there. It really, what they wanted us to pay for, and they never put out prices, but like the paid option, like really didn't give us anything that we needed. And there are things that we can do with the tools that we have already. And the chief is looking at putting some things in place for also working on planning for the town fair and stuff like that too. Our alert sense signups have been coming along fabulously. We're at almost 900 people now. So I think that's been huge, the number of people that have decided to get signed up for this. Obviously we're going to look for any chances we can to get out to the public and provide updates for that too. And then just, regular daily stuff, writing articles and putting them online and working with the EDIC to get their update up. They're going to be put onto the front page of the website. Lots of great stuff, which unfortunately, as I get more to work in the annual report, some of these other things are going to have to slow up in order to get the report done on time so we can get it printed and all that. So anybody have any questions for me?
Okay, one quick thing, Kate. I happen to be on the town Facebook page right now. The post for the Carriagetown Chronicle, the graphic doesn't load.
All right, well, we can look at that after. Kate, I do have a question. It's maybe not one that we can answer tonight, but I know a little while back before the holidays and stuff, we had this discussion around your time and stuff. Just wondering if you have any updates or news or anything from the Finnerty House point of view around expanding the communications manager's role to a full-time position.
So not full-time, but expanding it. I did have my 1-year employee review right before Christmas, and Steve and I talked at that time about increasing my hours, and we're looking at moving it, assuming that all the budget pieces fall into place and everything, to 25 hours a week starting in the next budget cycle.
And what are you now?
19.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's something.
It is something. It's
Yeah.
It's something. It's definitely going to help as we get closer to that February, or not February, but that April 27 deadline.
Yeah.
I just have to take those extra 6 hours a week once that happens and make those solely working on ADA stuff. But we shall see.
All right. Any other questions for Kate?
Nope. Can you hear me again?
Is that you, Esther?
Yeah,
Yes, you got me?
We got you.
you sound
All right.
good.
We can move back to your section then.
All right. Good with Kate? Sounds like it. Okay.
Yep.
So I left off, we were doing a soft launch of the select board live streaming on the town's Facebook page, because I wanted to do one time where things could go wrong without anyone expecting anything to happen. And it did, where I went, I tried to do a live stream to our page and the town page, which there's a maximum numbers of streams, I guess, that you can have. So did not work, couldn't get it to work for the first 20 minutes of the meeting, and that was up. And then we did broadcast from the town's page. I think we had about 22 views concurrently. And then since then, you can hear, okay. Since then, there's been, I think, when I turned it off, it was like 200. But it's awkward because it's midway through the meeting. But so I also learned how to properly stream to both. There's a different way to cross-post it. So next time, excited to do it and have it work. And we've been doing, we've been putting out these short little like news updates from the select board meetings, and those are getting great traction on both YouTube Reels and Facebook. I'm very pleased with those. It's like, it flashes up and it says like each decision that happened at the select board meeting. So we're going to carry on with that. We've been missing Peg and Lou, who are home with the flu, which rhymes. And I think that's about all I got for now.
Okay. I was gonna say, you said you're hiring a website manager. If you have any questions on that you want to bounce off of us when you're hiring people, Ed and I are both well versed in websites and everything like that, and I help manage mine for my company, actually 2 websites. So yeah, I don't know if you have, I'm sure you have some expertise over there, or if you don't have enough, or you feel like you want to bounce questions off anybody, or send resumes or something over, feel free to do that. We're always here to help.
Definitely, thank you. Yeah, and that's it's not the website manager. It's the web manager, so all of our content. So importantly, social media.
Okay.
We've got some good resumes with experience, like increasing the engagement in pages. So I'm excited about that. But
Excellent.
yeah, website is also a project on hold that they will have some supervised over. But yeah.
Okay. Well, we're here to help on that one as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns about BCTV?
Oh yeah, I thought of one other thing, which is I almost wanted to mention it in the middle of this meeting. It's a small thing, but it's driving me crazy with the go-to meetings. The recordings, when committees, including ours, have a meeting going, most commonly we like to have it on the everyone view, which makes sense. But when it's on the everyone view, the recording that later we're able to pull, it's a really awkward two-screen image where whoever has their camera on at home is just awkwardly just on the whole time. And I would really love it if it could stay on just the main meeting or just the main person talking, which it will do if you put it on the talking view. I haven't found any way to change that as a preset. What I've been doing more is making our own recording in the moment where we will join the meeting and then do a screen capture. But I don't know how much I should worry about it. What do you guys think?
I'd be happy that people are using GoToMeeting.
Say that. To stop using GoTo.
No, I mean, I'd be happy they're using it in the first place without tweaking it too much and making it complicated for them, I know it'd be better on your end.
Yeah, I definitely get that.
I'm sorry.
Even
Say
from
again,
My thought, I mean, I understand what you're talking about, but also, we should be happy that they're using GoToMeeting in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
point. Sometimes I'm tempted to remote in and change it myself, but that would really confuse people in the room, I'm afraid.
Sure.
And would this be another rationale for looking at Zoom versus GoToMeeting?
Yes, I would think that Zoom worked this out, but I don't know.
I think it does, where it isolates the individual videos. And then when you're editing at the end, you can pull down the individuals or the full view. Yeah, I mean, I'll say right now we switched it to who's talking, and it just keeps flashing between the gray box that you have no image and us. So it is very kind of disorienting that it's just on the screen behind us, just kind of flashing back and forth. And we also can't see who's in the room. But I understand the same point that Lou has just been, no offense, Lou, you've been just kind of sitting there the whole meeting, and yeah, the end video is just going to be you now in the corner, just staring at the screen. It is a little bit awkward. Yeah, not to call you out, but that is but go ahead.
I was just going to point out that one tool that could be used is, I believe, if you click the person, the 8-figure, it'll show who's, so you could leave that on to see who's in the room if you wanted to just leave one camera on.
That's a good point.
But that doesn't necessarily solve all the problems with making this decision.
Yep.
We kind of kicked
Yeah,
around the
we
idea.
could push for a protocol. We could push to make a protocol where people try to have their webcams off. That wouldn't work for really big meetings, but some it would.
Yeah.
I mean, we kicked around in the past, us as a committee test driving Zoom,
Yeah.
just to see how it works. And if we want to resurrect that idea or not, and just see.
We'd have to make sure it's on a couple different computers. We'd have to get IT involved, a lot of other stuff, but, yeah, something to definitely
As the
think about.
newest select board member, I couldn't agree more about getting to Zoom or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how GoToMeeting got into the town, so I don't know that answer either. But I would
think
be in favor of a
everybody
different
who's
meeting minute.
Yeah, everyone who's posed this question wishes we were on Zoom, so, but I think
Yeah.
ultimately GoTo is much cheaper, and, at the time, it was just sort of the one that stood out and met all the requirements. So IT went with that one. So,
There is a major difference now, though, that might change that, which is just that we have everyone now in the habit of using just the accounts in the rooms. So rather than we used to have 50 accounts, 50 seats, we might be able to have more like 4 seats, which obviously would be a huge cost difference.
yeah.
I mean, Esther, it seems like your department's the most logical one. Do you have a Zoom account now, or can you get one that we could use for test purposes?
I don't, and we definitely could. I mean, I know that it's going to be better. It's trying to get a hold of the Carasoft people. Carasoft is the dealer of Zoom and a bunch of other software. It's the only way that I have been able to find that you can get Zoom, and I don't know why they didn't respond. But even so, if we tried Zoom and we loved it, it's still going to take a minute to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
But yeah, that's a good point. As we get closer to, like, if we knew it was going to happen, it would be a good idea to have Zoom up and see, okay, this is what we're in for with switching people over.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that could probably be a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
I know we've been pretty quick today, but I don't want to get too caught up in something like that.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All right, additional items up for discussion. Anybody have anything else that they want to share? Communication related, but not necessarily something we discuss? No? All right, we're gonna move on past that. Next meeting time should be the 22nd, January 22nd at 6:30, same location. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Getting head nods all around?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. That's what it'll be.
Hey, actually, I've got one thing, and maybe we should put this on as a regular thing. John, is there anything from the select board in that we should know about, or?
Good question. We had a quick meeting, actually, one of the quickest meetings I've been as a select board member. I think it lasted an hour long, but we did talk about the free cash, just free cash stuff that dropped from the state. We're getting about $1.4 million. It's quite a bit less than last year. So our budget cycle, we're going to be talking about coming up in a few weeks here, I think on Monday, the 26th. So we're going to start budget meetings then. So it's not looking like a good budget season, just to get everyone's attention there. Besides that, tax bills went out. Yep.
Go ahead.
Tax bills went out. I know a lot of people are complaining about tax bills, but that's part of the override. And don't forget, it's not fully assessed yet either, because we didn't have to. There's still about $650,000 that is set aside for next year for the firefighters, for the full-time staff. So that's another issue that we're. Besides that, that's all I can say for now. Unless you guys have any questions for me.
Yeah. So just talking about the budget season, thinking about the media about it. Last year, what ended up happening is basically there was no social media or explainer kind of stuff that came out from like the town's perspective or a neutral perspective about what was going on with the budget. So people who very much had an opinion on the subject were the only people putting out information about what was going on with the school committee and the select board. So I just think when you say budget season's coming up, maybe we should make a plan for like explainer videos or a campaign like that.
That is a great idea. I couldn't agree with you more than that. I know last year was a little difficult. Select board. I wasn't on the select board then, and they made decisions about the budget. And I think Kate could attest to this. She can only put out so much information for what the select board decided. But I think getting with the new chair of the finance committee and the chair of the select board, I think we should be putting this stuff out. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's a great idea. If you can make the content, I'm more than happy to share it. And I think even to that end too, like maybe start at the assessor's office and get something from them. Like a lot of people are confused, like why their tax bills are so much right now, because, you know, you're putting 4 quarters into 2 quarters. So people are like, why is it so much? Like just something simple. If you can get with them and kind of start there and then work into more budget stuff, I think that would go a long way.
Okay. Part 2 of the idea for the project.
Sorry, I want to
just
throw in real quick that I would advise talking to Lisa on the select board, only because last year when things were going out from the communications manager around the override, things like that, there was a decision made that the former chair and vice chair of the select board would essentially monitor everything that was going out and approve. So we just want to make sure that that rule either
Exists or doesn't.
still exists or not, and that, you know, if it does, to what end? Because, you know, technically they didn't say the chair and vice chair, they actually said Ed and Lisa, so Ed's not there anymore, so I don't know what the ruling would be now. So, but I think that well, I love the idea. I think it's a great plan. We should loop Lisa in as well and say, like, to what extent is the select board going to be sort of monitoring and involved in this?
Yeah, that's important. And also, I remember Kate in the midst of budget season last season, put out what I thought was a very helpful infographic, but we ran into things around people thinking it was like had an opinion to it or something.
That's what caused all that to happen. Yeah.
I think this is a good question. This is a good question, and I'll bring it up on the 21st, and we have our tri-board meeting. I think this is a great topic for that.
Yeah, if we can get that in there, that'd be excellent.
Okay.
Esther, you had another point?
We'll start planning. Oh, and go ahead.
I was just saying, didn't you have another point you wanted to bring up before I cut you off? Sorry. Or somebody did.
I'm sorry.
No? Okay. Okay. Well, that's that then. I think we covered everything. Anything else that anybody thought about that we didn't go over? All right, then 7:50. Let's motion to adjourn.
So move.
I second.
Lou? Motion to adjourn? We need an aye from you.
I'm sorry, the mic was off. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes.
Glover?
Yes.
Chris Martin, yes. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for those tuning in or watching the recording. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody. Blue Field.